Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. So, where do I start off with first? You know, it's still laughable to me. Eric's not there trying to give Sloan the riot act on her spending money on Leo and bankrupting the family. You're not really contributing to the family. You're really not. Now, of course, he does wind up getting a call later on from Chad. Long story short, he wound up getting the job. Right? Meanwhile, Sloan goes to Leo to try to appeal to his better angels or whatever. So they're saying that, just don't say anything. You don't want to sit there and take, um, you don't want to take Leo, you don't want to take Leo from, not Leo. You don't want to take Jude from Eric and stuff like that. So just don't say anything. Just take you and Dimitri and just go somewhere else because when things do hit the fan, it's not going to be good. And Leo thinks about that, right? Takes a walk, he comes back, he's going through his junk mail, he sees a letter from Dimitri. Now, I'm not going to lie, I already knew that before he started reading the letter, I knew it was going to go south. Because the actor left the show. I don't know, or he got fired. I have no idea, but I know the actor is not coming back to the show, right? So this whole big reunion, which by the way, I gotta sit there and wonder, how did he actually get um out of jail? I mean, wasn't he convicted for trying to kill Jada and Stefan and Gabby and stuff like that? So what happened? He went to jail for like 4 months, and they just said, I think you learned your lesson. You can go home now. Just don't do it again." But he gets a letter, and the letter is a breakup letter. So they're saying that he met somebody else in jail, and they're a better fit than he is with Leo, and just live a good life and bye pretty much. So he's upset, and I'm just like, bro, I don't feel bad for him. I really don't. All the dirt and everything like that you're they're doing, blackmailing left and right, and you honestly think I'm gonna sit there and have an ounce of sadness for you? No. Plus, again, I already knew that it was not gonna end well. Because I was like, the only way this is gonna work is if Leo leaves the show. And I knew that was not gonna wind up happening. You did think about, as far as leaving to try to talk to EJ, get some money out of him and everything like that. But then he realized that it was going to be more bad than good. So I think he decided against that. But if we saw the previews, he does talk to EJ. Now, speaking of EJ, after he talks to Nicole, he goes to the office. And he is talking to his assistant, which is mighty sassy. I was just like, who is this chick? I was like, who is this lady? But she does give him some good advice as far as how to go about it with Paulina. Instead of Cynthia trying to undermine her, why don't you sit there and kill her with kindness? So he calls her up, and she pretty much is like, I don't have time right now. She hangs up on him. He's like, oh, how dare she? So now he wants to sit there and ruin her life. I was like, my goodness, you are a prick. Now, speaking of Paulina, she's feeling bad because she thinks that she made Chanel sick. So she's like, tells Johnny when they get outside, hey, listen, don't even try to talk to Chad because I deserve it. If you want to sit there and yell at me, scream at me, whatever, I deserve it. Now, Johnny is not going to do that, but then they do want to getting back inside, and long story short, she's pregnant. But because of the radiation, they don't know how it's going to affect the baby. Now, somebody did sit there and say most likely she was going to be pregnant, and I felt like that was kind of an easy answer, so I didn't think that was going to be the case. But I guess it's a 2-for-1 because yes, she is pregnant, but the radiation might have affected the baby, so she's still going to feel like garbage. On top of the fact that EJ is coming for her ass. So there's that. Um, I don't even understand what the hell Sloan doing at this point. Like, even when she was getting berated by him, she was like, "Oh well, here's my password, here's my email, all my financial records and stuff like that." I'm like, "What are you doing, lady? You are you are the damn near breadwinner of this whole family. And in reality, she should. That's the thing. She should be something going so hard on Eric for not meeting her halfway instead of sit there taking essentially a bum's ranting and raving on her. And why is she doing this? I have no idea. She talks to Melinda afterwards on the phone, talking about, oh, I convinced Leo to leave, and I think we're going to be in the clear. And I'm just like, what are you doing this for? What are you even doing this for? I don't get it. And like I said, I'm very old school. I'm always been about the man being the breadwinner in the family, or at the very least, you snip there matching her salary and contributing and stuff like that. So, like, this whole thing where he's not really making that much money, and for him to be snip there berating her, and for her to be snip there taking it, it's like, really? What are we doing at this point? It just, it just doesn't really make a lot of sense. On top of the fact that it's like, is Eric that important? Is Eric that important? Because this damn child that you are taking care of don't even seem that important to you. It feels like it's more about status than loving that actual child, and that's the sad part. That's the sad part. Now, Nicole does want to get in a job, and she sees Eric, and Chad is like, "Listen, I'm gonna put you both in the store." Now I started laughing because I was like, "Oh." Here we go. Here we go. I mean, I'm not really about the whole lovey-dovey stuff, but people really love Eric and Nicole together. Um, Now they're gonna be working on a story, and technically they are both parents of that child. They have to really start to. I'm just hoping that they really start to wrap it up because we all know that Nicole is leaving. That the actress that plays Nicole is leaving, and I don't feel like they're gonna do a recast. They could, but see, part of me is okay with it to some extent if they do it right. Only if they do it right. Because I would love to sit there and see the story continue instead of just, you know. And it's crazy when whenever an actor leaves or a couple actors leave and they leave at the same time. Like the chick that played Chloe and oh, what is his name? Uh, Paul. I mean Chloe and Philip. Both of those actors left at the exact same time. And the same thing with Trip and Wendy. Both of the actors left at the exact same time. So like when actors leave that show and they leave in pairs, it just I feel like when stuff like that happens, it doesn't vote well for the show. It really doesn't vote well for the show. I'm gonna be honest. I think with Peacock, I really do feel like Days of Our Lives is pretty much their only drawing point. Um, so I'm like, they better find a way to fix that show because some of the plots are just so daffy. They're so daffy. Even the fact that he thought that, oh, once Dimitri gets back, we're gonna live happily ever after. And I'm just like, we all know that that's not gonna end up happening. And maybe in the '90s they could have probably avoided us knowing about this because the internet wasn't really too prevalent. But now it's like we know it's like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. And when he read that letter, it's like we all had an idea of what that letter was gonna say. Anyway, I feel like that's about it for the most part. I might have probably forgot like maybe one or two things. Nicole was asked where she got her source from, and Nicole was like, I mean, well, from Chad, and she was like, yeah, I think I probably overheard it from Johnny. Okay, could have been EJ. What's the difference? Um, Anyway, that's pretty much about it. Anything else, we'll sit there and talk about in the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, as well as General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, of course. Born and Beautiful, Young and the Restless. With that being said, I'm going to go, and I'll see you in the next video.